What's up, Vintage Church? Thanks for tuning in for another video this week. Your verses that you need to look up this week are Matthew chapter 26, verses 69 through 75. So Matthew 26, verses 69 through 75. So while you're looking those up, I got another quick story for you. So when I was probably 16, 17 years old, I was leaving the school one time, and there's that church that's St. John's Lutheran Church, that their parking lot is right on the road going up to the school. And I remember leaving school, I was going home one night, and I did the whole Dukes of Hazzard slide thing right through that church parking lot. And I don't know how fast I was going, but I slid all four tires in my truck around that corner and just never let my foot out of the gas. And there was a cop sitting in that parking lot, and I just blasted right by him, and he pulled me over and gave me a verbal warning, which was very nice of him. And it wasn't long after that I did the exact same thing, and I got pulled over again, and I got another verbal warning. And I got pulled over one other time when I was in high school, and I got another verbal warning again. So I just automatically assumed that speeding tickets were a myth, that cops didn't really give speeding tickets, and cops didn't like giving speeding tickets. And so I just thought every cop gave you that same level of grace, so that you deserve a speeding ticket, but they don't give you one. That mindset prevailed until I was probably 18 years old, and I got pulled over for doing 83 miles an hour in a 60 zone, and the cop gave me a $275 speeding ticket. And he said I ran him off the road when I passed somebody, but honestly, I don't remember meeting any other cars, so I don't know if I really did that or not. But all of us have been there and done that, right? Where we screw up and get busted, and it's bad and it's ugly, and sometimes it's worse than others. And for our video this week, we're looking at the life of the Apostle Peter, because he's just like me, and he's just like you. He isn't perfect all the time. He trips, he falls, he gets back up again. He goes on with life. He learns from his mistakes a lot of times, and I love that the Bible includes those gritty details where he's not perfect, and it doesn't edit any of that stuff out, and I love that about him. And we're just coming off of Easter week, so this is my Easter message that I gave at Vintage on Easter Sunday, and it's a message of restoration, and it's a message of hope for when you feel like you made a bad decision or a wrong choice, or you screwed up really bad, and you need a second chance. And I love Peter so much, because like I said earlier, he was like me and like you, and he was brash, and he said things without really thinking about them, and he made decisions that were probably not the best decisions that he could have made, and Jesus has to correct him from time to time. And just real quick, other than the verse that I told you to go grab, there's a story that takes place in Matthew chapter 16, and you can just hang out and listen to this one for a second. It says, verse 13, when Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do you say the Son of Man is?" And they replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. But what about you?" he asked. "Who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "Well, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah. This was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." And man, I can't imagine the level of pride that Peter must have felt. And the level of that just going straight to his head and what it did for his ego. And I picture at that moment, if this region had aviator sunglasses, you know, those kind that the cops wear in the cop movies, or they wore on Top Gun, and, you know, those super cool aviator sunglasses. I really feel like Peter probably would have been wearing a pair by now, right? Like, he's like, "I'm Peter, I'm the rock, you know, like, everybody step aside, I got this, you know, Jesus, just follow me. Oh, Jesus, you need a bouncer? You need somebody to control these crowds for you? Let me do it, Jesus, I'm the rock," you know, or everybody's deciding what they're going to do or stay or where they're going to go and what they're going to eat. And Peter stands up, "Guys, I got this. I'm the rock. I'll handle this for you." And I just picture Peter trying to deal with, you know, what does that mean? Like, I'm the rock. Jesus, you're going to build your church on me. What does that even mean? Because you see very shortly after this that Peter still didn't get it. Right after he said this, a few verses, like 2 verses later, Jesus was telling his disciples that he was going to go to the cross and die. And Jesus has to tell Peter, like, "You know what? Get behind me, Satan. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about." And this takes place in Matthew chapter 16, verses 21 through 23. Jesus says this to Peter. "From that time on, Jesus began to explain to his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things at the hands of the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law, and that he must be killed and on the third day be raised to life." And here's where I love the grittiness of Peter's life. Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. "Never, Lord," he said, "this shall never happen to you." And then Jesus replies. Jesus turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." So you see, there's this thing going on with Peter. Jesus gives him this amazing prophecy about his life, but it's not there yet. He's still working out his dirt. He's still figuring things out. He's still tripping and falling and making mistakes and getting back up and pushing forward. And I think that's really awesome, because that leads us into our main scripture for this video. So turn with me to Matthew chapter 26, verses 69 through 75. It says this: "Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. 'You also were with Jesus of Galilee,' she said." The reason the girl knows, or what's going on, the context of this, is Jesus has just been arrested. And he was hauled before the Sanhedrin, right before he was sent to the cross to die. And Peter was there when Jesus was arrested. And one of the other gospel writers say that as Peter is standing here in the moment being questioned by this girl, him and Jesus can actually make eye contact. Like, they can see each other. So she says to Peter, "You also were with Jesus of Galilee," she said. But he denied it, and before them all. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said. Then he went out to the gateway, where another servant girl saw him and said to the people there, "This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth." He denied it again with an oath, saying, "I don't know the man." After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, "Surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away." Then he began to call down curses, and he swore to them, "I don't know the man." Immediately a rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the words of Jesus, "Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and he wept. Man, have you ever just blown it? Where somebody was counting on you for something and you let them down? Or maybe you had an opportunity slip by, like you knew that like this is the moment right here where I can make a right decision or I can make a wrong decision, and you chose the wrong decision. Or maybe you had an opportunity to show the love of Jesus to somebody and you just let it slip by. We've all had moments in our life where we just blew it. Where it seems like everything is going right and we make one wrong decision in our life. Or maybe everything is going wrong in our life and making the right decision can remedy that or correct that, but yet instead we make another wrong decision. At this moment, I have a video for you to watch.
Grace is God's unmerited favor for us, His crazy love. And the truth is, many times we struggle understanding it. If you find yourself struggling to understand God's grace, don't beat yourself up. Even the disciples struggled with understanding grace.
Jesus, is that you? You're alive. I can't believe you're alive. Okay, I was in the boat and I wasn't catching any fish, okay? But I heard this voice and the voice said, cast your net to the other side. And so I'm thinking, I'm a fisherman, I know what I'm doing, but I'm not catching any fish, you know? And so I throw that net over there and then a gaggle of fish pop into that net and I'm going, this is a total miracle. Who could have done that? I need to know who told me to throw the net to the other side. And boom, I look up and I mean, there is you. You're looking at me on the seashore going, it is I, the Lord, and you're alive. I can't believe you're alive. This is awesome. Andrew, get out of the boat. Come on.
Peter.
Yeah.
Do you love me?
Yes, I love you. I love you. You're alive. This is so great.
Good, then feed my sheep.
Andrew, get out of the boat. Come on, man. It's him.
Peter.
Yeah.
Do you love me?
I love you, yes. And I'm so sorry about that rooster clucking. I had no idea what that meant, but I do now, and I'm better for it, all right? Okay?
Then feed my sheep.
Andrew, I'm smiling, but I'm serious. Come on, get out of the boat. It's him.
Peter.
Yeah.
Do you love me?
Jesus, mere words cannot describe the passion that I have for you. I love you. You know everything. I love you.
Good. Good. Then feed my sheep.
I didn't even know you had livestock. That is so like you, though. There's something new about you all the time. That's what I love about you.
Peter,
Yeah.
do you remember the morning the ladies went to the tomb?
Yeah. We're all in the upper room trying to figure out what to do next, you know, because we thought you were dead. You know, you were dead, you know, and we're trying to figure all that out, you know. And Mary comes running up, and Mary's like saying, beehive, beehive, beehive. And I'm thinking, I'm allergic to bees. Like, keep them out, you know what I'm saying? But as she kept getting closer, I heard her correctly. She was saying, he's alive, he's alive, he's alive. And we're going, who's alive, who's alive? And she said, she was at the tomb, and the tomb was empty, and she said that there was an angel there, and the angel said, go tell the disciples and Peter that everything is okay, he is risen. And so me and John, we hightailed it down there, and if John says he beat me, he's totally lying, all right? I beat him, FYI, all right, you know? And we get down there, and I'm looking in that tomb, and it is empty. There's nothing in there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And John is right there. John is so good with words. He should write a book. He is so good with words. And John said, Don't you get it, Peter? This is everything Jesus said he was going to do, and you did it, and it's done. Let's go. This is so great.
Wait, the angel said what?
Go tell the disciples and Peter that everything is okay. He is risen. You've risen. Let's go.
He said what?
Go tell the disciples and Peter. Go tell the disciples and Peter. You said my name. Why did you say my name?
Peter, that's grace.
No, I don't deserve that, because that night people kept coming up to me asking me if I belonged to you, if I was with you, and I kept denying you left and right, all right? No, it'll take me my whole life to make up for what I did. It was unforgivable for what I did.
No. What I did on the cross was meant to take what is unforgivable and make it forgivable. That's my grace. It's not about you. It's always about me. That's grace, Peter.
Here's why the story of Peter is so important for us. It's because Jesus restores. Jesus restores. Jesus restored Peter. He reinstated him. That there was something in Peter that Jesus saw, and Jesus restored him. And that's why Easter changes everything. That when Jesus said to the women, go tell the disciples and Peter, he was saying, go tell the disciples and Wayne that I'm alive. Or go tell the disciples and Matthew that I'm alive. Or go tell the disciples and Thomas that I'm alive. Go tell the disciples and blank. Put your name in there, fill in the blank. Because Jesus wants you to know that he's alive, just like he wants me to know that he's alive. Because if Jesus is alive, then we're restored, we're made whole again. Because Jesus overcame the grave, and the sick can be healed. Sin has been defeated, and grace makes us new again. So whatever baggage you're dealing with today, whatever hurt and pain you're holding on to, whatever sin that you haven't repented of, whatever chains are dragging you down, grace makes you whole. The grace only found in Jesus Christ. And Easter changes everything, because that's the day that we celebrate that the grave was empty. He overcame death for us. So don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and spread the word that Jesus is alive. Check in with you next week.